I would like to call to order the Winthrop School Committee meeting on Monday, July 11th, 2022 at 6 p.m. This meeting is being held in the Neil Shapiro Center for Performing Arts and is being televised live. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Ms. Leonard? Present. Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yep.
Ms. Petrie?
Here.
Ms. Swope?
Here.
Ms. Barry?
Here.
Ms. Powell?
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Petrie, can you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have an executive session on the agenda, and I'm going to ask for a motion to take that out of order to go after public relations.
Motion.
Second. Abundance of choices. Motion made by Mr. Martucci, seconded by Ms. Petrie. Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Do we have any public comment tonight? Seeing none, can I have, do we have any delegates and visitors who wish to speak at this time? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 22nd, 2022?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Swope, second by Ms. Petrie. May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Abstain?
Mr. Lettieri?
Abstain.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Abstain.
Who was on Zoom?
May I have a motion to approve warrant SVW 22-23 in the amount of $453,424,000.62?
Motion.
Motion made by Ms. Berry and seconded by Ms. Leonard.
Was that a payroll warrant? I didn't even hear.
May I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. May I have a motion to approve budget transfer in the amount of $124,703.22?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Ms. Berry, second by Ms. Petrie. May I please have a roll call?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri? Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the invoices in the amount of $54,691.03?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Ms. Berry, second by Ms. Leonard. May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri? Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Do we have no subcommittee reports tonight. Do we have a superintendent's report tonight?
Just a light one, just an update on the summer program. Things are running well. I have been able to see each one of the summer programs and able to go over and observe 21st Century, which is hopping. Over 140 students enrolled in 21st Century, about 60 students at the Gorman Fort Banks in our extended year program, and about another 25 at the Arthur T. Cummings in our extended year program, and at the high school, our life skills class in their extended year program, as well as some summer credit recovery programs going on. So students are attending and having fun. I don't know if you drive by any of the schools, but at the Cummings School the other day, we had a water slide outside for the students. 21st Century actually brought that water slide in, but it's full use for the students who are in that building. So it's great to see folks working together to make sure that everybody's included in some of these activities that we have. Other than that, we're very busy working on hiring, onboarding people for the new school year, making sure folks are up and ready. Lots of work being done on professional development, some new platforms we have for the school district that I'll roll out to you at the next meeting around all of the trainings that we will be doing, and be able to give our staff some time over the summer, if they so choose, to be able to do many of the mandatory trainings that we have that are now going to be platform-based, which will help us with accountability in determining and making sure that all our folks are trained in all the mandatory trainings that we need. Working on Alice Live drills for intruder drilling in the fall. Terry Delahanty, Chief Delahanty, is working on that with me. We have lots of Winthrop police officers who are Alice-trained instructors, so they'll be working on a schedule in the fall. In September, we'll have 2 half-days in which students will not be present, but staff will be present, and the Winthrop Police Department and some other certified Alice trainers will be coming on-site to bring us back up to speed with the live Alice drills. Last year and every year since the past 4 years, our entire staff is Alice trained, on Alice certified through the portal, but those live trainings on site is something that we sort of backed away from a little bit during COVID, and we want to get back to that business. So more on that to come. And so that is it for my superintendent report.
Wonderful. Do we have any homeschool
We
applications?
do not. As of yet, they'll start rolling in.
Okay. Appointments, resignations, retirements, postings, leave of absence.
We have one resignation, and that is for Audra Incardo, and she was an ESP at the middle school. She had retired at the end of the school year, and we are looking to fill that position, and it has been posted.
Okay. Under new business, the superintendent is requesting for an interim assistant superintendent appointment.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to take this up so that we can have discussion on it?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Ms. Swope, second by Ms. Berry. May I have open for discussion?
Yes. So just to give you a little bit of background, this is a position that has not been, in the Winthrop Public Schools, an assistant superintendent position has not been something that we have had since 2013. It is not a separate and distinct position from other positions in the district. So back in 2013, yours truly was the assistant superintendent of schools as well as the pupil personnel director. So I took that role on back in 2013, kept my full-time role as pupil personnel director, but there was a need for more authority and more work directly with the superintendent from a managerial perspective to work with our staff around things like licensure, grant management, Department of Education audits, and the like, and a host of other things. And so back at that time, that position was assumed by me for a period of time. And then when I left the Winthrop Public Schools and went to another community to do some work, they did not continue that position because I believe at the time, and at least one person here was on the committee at that time, there wasn't anyone qualified at that time to do that position, because you have to have your superintendent or assistant superintendent licensure and be willing to take on that role. At the time, our superintendent, that I became the assistant superintendent, we'd had a new superintendent on board here in Winthrop, and so that collaborative work was necessary to kind of get people up to speed and be there as the authority when a superintendent can't be there. So our present curriculum director, so she's the director of curriculum instruction and accountability, is Laurie Gallivan, as you all know very well. Laurie has morphed into that role without a title since she stepped foot through the Winthrop Public Schools, and that has became very apparent, certainly during COVID, and the work that she had to do side by side with me. She did curriculum directing as sort of a part-time gig and assumed the role of management of operations right beside me, of operations, accountability, safety and security, purchasing, grant writing, grant management, all of the things that typically in other school systems, you have a separate person as an assistant superintendent of schools that does just that. And then you also have a director of curriculum and instruction. Here in Winthrop, we have sort of the one time that in my recollection, and I know there was an assistant superintendent years and years and years ago that held that singular position, but when it was me, it was a dual position. And Laurie Gallivan is currently doing all of that work. My request to the school committee in an interim fashion, and what that means is temporary, as an appointment, for Laurie to be recognized for that position in name and in title. And what that will do for the school district is it brings the authority, the appropriate authority, to her hand while she is signing documentation, while she is setting up and developing professional development district-wide, while she's dealing with vendors to secure contracts for whether it be curriculum and instruction or technology. She has worked hand in hand with Comcast and myself to do this large Comcast untangling project that we're doing, and many other aspects of the role that I certainly would be happy to further discuss with the committee and with Laurie. I think that, so individually, she's doing the curriculum director work as well as all of this. Some of the new things, the accountability for equity and inclusion is a really, really big tilt for our district and across the entire country. Laurie has single-handedly picked that up and taken that on with authority. So having the title of Assistant Superintendent does give her more authority across the district, and never did it become more clear to me that that is something that we need here in our small community when I had to be out unexpectedly for 2 weeks. It's the first time in my life that I have disconnected from my job, especially here in Winthrop, returning as your superintendent. I've never really disconnected. So I've had my appendix out. I've had my gallbladder out. I've had some heavy-duty migraine headaches that have put me down. But it is very hard to disconnect from school at all. And during those 2 weeks, because of the situation I was in, I had no ability to be connected here. And what I can tell you is the school didn't miss a step. There was some pretty major things going on here that got taken care of and communicated, and Laurie did that without hesitation. In my recommendation, I would like to ask you to approve the one-year position as an interim assistant superintendent of schools / curriculum, and remain the curriculum and accountability and instruction director, and appoint for that one-year position Laurie. She would continue to do the director work on top of everything else that I have outlined, and can go into more detail with that now or in the future. And there would be no change in Laurie's salary. So the change would come in title only, and that title would remain for 1 year, because when you do something as an interim, it is a one-year title. Once you become, there are certain positions that the school committee holds the authority over, including salary and oversight and contract negotiation, and that's the school business manager, the superintendent of schools, and the superintendent, school business manager, and if you have an assistant superintendent of schools. So an interim role or an interim contract would be specific to 1 year, and in terms of salary at this point in time, because Laurie is doing this job and has been doing this job the same way last year and since she has started with us, and at the point in time we are with negotiations with all of our unions, I think it's would be untimely to change the salary, but I think it would be timely to allow that position to exist here and to allow us to have some more security and authority at the district level. If I were to go down again at any point in time, the school committee becomes the authority single-handedly of the school district. So that is my request at this time. I certainly can field questions. I would be happy to go into further discussion at another time with folks.
Yes, Ms. Fogg.
Thanks. In the future, I mean, down the road, do you see this being necessary as a two-person operation, or if Laurie were to accept it and you were to recommend this as a permanent change, would she keep both the curriculum work as well as the work that she's doing as the assistant superintendent?
When I think of the positions we need in the Winthrop Public Schools, I have a list that's as long as the table that you're sitting at. And, where, without having buckets of money to be able to institute directors of a lot of things. I would love to see that 2 split positions. Do I think, under my direction, it's necessary to have sort of 2 of me individually? I still got some life left in me, so I don't think I would recommend that as a single position right now. It would be nice, but I think when we're thinking about what do our students need, together, Laurie and I have worked together for quite some time now. We split some of our duties. Of course, I'm always the authoritative, person at the end, but because of our communication and our ability to bounce off each other and get the job done, I think at this point in time, having her assume the title to have the authority and the power district-wide to be able to institute change without having to go back and have meetings with me to say that it's okay, and the power with the Department of Education to be the person that they can speak to in a matter and not then have to go back to me. I think at this point in time, having her have both roles is sufficient. And then what would happen after that, the school committee, if they agreed to an interim 1-year position without a change in salary, at the end of her term, the school committee then would, throughout the school year or towards the end of her term, decide whether or not you all wanted to negotiate a longer-term contract with that title remaining, or do you want Laurie to go back to just being the director of curriculum instruction and accountability?
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Martucci.
I totally agree with this title change. I think that she's absolutely can handle the job without issue at all. There's huge school districts, Boston, for instance, that have a number of assistant superintendents, where it's assistant superintendent of finance, assistant superintendent of pupil personnel, and these, people are all certified superintendents. Like Lisa said, we don't have the money to be hiring, 5 different assistant superintendents, but I think this would be good for us. What I would like to see, is my understanding that this would be a contract between the committee and her, if this does change, to assist it. So I would like to see a contract. I guess Paul would be the one to write that up. And then I'd like to see something in writing as far as her additional
Job responsibilities.
responsibilities. Now, I don't think it's fair that we would have someone come on and not give them more money if they're going to be taking on more responsibility. Where we are in negotiations with all of our unions,
Yep.
it probably isn't the right time to discuss that.
Agreed.
But at some point in the game, to be honest and upfront, that's something that we would need to discuss.
For the future.
Because that would not be fair to that person to do that to them,
Yep.
to make them do more, or expect more from them in writing, and then not have some type of a increase, stipend, or anything tied to it. So,
And I think doing the interim allows the committee the ability to see what is actually being done above and beyond the director of curriculum, which I know she's already doing, but if it's highlighted for you in detail and you're able to see that, and then you would be able to justify moving forward, okay, this really is 1.5 jobs, or, a job that, is worthy of some level of an increase. But I think to be true to the district and understanding the position we're in with negotiating 7 unions, the timeliness of changing somebody's salary just doesn't totally make sense. That's why I asked for it to be an interim one.
Yes, Ms. Leonard.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to second what Mr. Martucci said, which is to say that I fully support this, and thank you, Lisa, for being so thoughtful and careful about the budget situation of the town and where we are in negotiations. But just to say that I've been very impressed with what Lori has done, and it's pretty clear to me that she's doing more than one job now. Yeah. And if we are lucky enough to have her continue to do that for another year, I do think, to echo Mr. Martucci, it will be incumbent upon this committee to determine just compensation.
And I do think that, sits in the back of my mind as I'm a strategic thinker, understanding what Laurie does and understanding the title she has. Certainly, being an assistant superintendent gives you a leg up to be a superintendent somewhere else. I can tell you that Laurie's can be taken in a moment from us and doesn't necessarily need that title, but the respect of having that title, it brings, I believe it will bring her more love for our district, knowing that she's respected, and hang on with us for a period of time, if not until I retire at some point, because we all have an end life, you know, and that you know, is in the works for me at some point in my career, not tomorrow, not next year, but at some point it will be there. And to be able to have somebody in the pipeline who feels the respect and support of the community, I think would be helpful.
Any further discussion? Given that this is a new proposal, we haven't really had a chance to, we don't have a contract yet, we haven't had a chance to review it. I'm going to ask for a motion to table this until our next meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Petrie,
Second.
second by Ms. Leonard. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes.
I will provide the committee, I will speak with Paul Hodnett to have a draft, and I'll provide the committee with what Paul provides me, as well as a job description for the additional tasks beyond the curriculum director prior to the next meeting.
Wonderful, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the sick day buyback for Linda Young?
Motion.
Second. So a motion by Ms. Swope?
Second.
And second by Ms. Berry. Discussion. Can I have a roll call?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Under unfinished business, may I have a motion to ratify the cafeteria contract July 1st, 2019 through June 30th of 2022?
May I interrupt for 1 minute? I apologize, the cafeteria staff have not ratified yet.
Okay.
So they were supposed to ratify, and they have not yet done that. So if I may, could we move that, leave that on unfinished business until they are able to do that, and then we can move it forward to the school committee for the purpose of ratifying. I apologize, I should have put that on there.
That's okay, that's fine. So we will take that up at the next meeting. And then we also have unfinished business, request for proposal for the operations and management of the school food service program. Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Martucci, seconded by Ms. Berry. Any discussion? Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Okay. Public relations, do we have any upcoming events to announce?
So, not yet, just the summer program is moving and grooving. Things will start to come about for us as our students start to do their summer fundraisers. We will make sure we announce those.
Okay. Any other public relations from the committee?
No.
Okay. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Swope, seconded by Ms. Leonard. Any
Just, are we
And I am planning to
adjourning
adjourn,
from
the chair is planning
executive
to
session?
adjourn from the, anticipates adjourning from the executive session.
And can we just read the purpose of the executive session from that paragraph, or did you already do that?
We have to read the purpose.
So
Okay.
it says, yeah, just, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. The chair anticipates that the committee may choose to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing strategy concerning collective bargaining and to conduct a grievance hearing if and in this case, an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the school committee and the chair so declares. And this is with the Winthrop Teachers Association collective bargaining agreement. And it is a teacher unit grievance.
Correct, thank you.
Motion has been made and seconded. Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Barry?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. Executive session.